When it comes to shade perennials that are grown for their foliage, we haven't had just a whole lot of choices. Of course, everybody likes to grow hostas and maybe some ferns or maybe some of the new coral bells or heucheras, but there are really not a lot of choices when it comes to those plants for the shade. Well, today I want to show you a group of plants that are somewhat new to the nursery industry, and we've got a collection of them right here in our shaded garden. And it's a group of plants that have been suffering from some identity crisis. These plants are known as Ligularias, but the botanists of the world have recently changed their botanical name to farfugium. So you could call them Ligularias or farfugiums. And they've also been listed in the genus Senecio in the past. But I think a lot of you will probably recognize this one right here. This one's known as leopard plant. This is Ligularia or Farfugium japonicum aureomaculatum. It's got those yellow spots on those green leaves. Now these are a group of plants that are native to stream sides and seashores, in organic soils in Japan, China, and Korea. They are grown primarily for the foliage, but as you can see, they are starting to flower here late in the year. But really the flowers aren't that attractive. They are the daisy type flowers. They're in the Asteraceae, but a lot of gardeners I know actually cut the flowers off of the plants. Now these plants are hardy to zone 7. So those of you in the northern part of the state may have to give these a little bit of extra protection, but I have seen a few sources list them hardy as zone 6, and these that we have here in our studio garden, sort of on the border of zone 6 and zone 7, have survived well for the last 3 winters. Down in Texas, they're actually evergreen. Now you can grow them out in full sun, but they do take a little bit more moisture and they tend to wilt a little bit. Now these, of course, right here are the all green forms. We've got the leopard plant or aureomaculata. And an interesting thing I just want to point out about this one is you see the leaves don't develop until the spots don't develop on the leaves until they're a little bit older. Some of these younger, newer leaves don't have the spots, but if you look down inside, you do see more spots on the leaves. And this seems to be one of those plants that either you love it or hate it. Of course, the plant nerds like myself all love the plant, but probably the typical person may think it is a plant that looks a little sick with those spots. Now some of these other cultivars are the ones I think you're going to be a little bit more excited about. Right down here we've got the cultivar Argentea, and you can see it does have beautiful variegated leaves. They do show about 4 different colors in the leaf, some different colors of white and different shades of green. This one's also just starting to flower. Again, probably would be best just to remove those flowers from the plant. But again, Argentea is this cultivar, beautiful variegated form. Right back here is probably my favorite. It's a crisp-leaved variety of Ligularia or Farfugium, whichever name you prefer. But I absolutely love the crinkling edge of these large leaves, and it has a fuzziness to the foliage that some of the other Ligularia cultivars don't have. But this is the cultivar cristata, sometimes listed as crispatum. Now right back on the other side of our collection here, we've got a true plant geek or plant nerds type of plant. This is a new Japanese selection of Ligularia. This one's called Ryoto, and you can see this plant does look like it's sick. It's got these varicose vein like leaves, or these warty protrusions sticking up from the surface of the leaf. But something unique, a good conversation piece in the garden, maybe only a plant that a mother could love. Now if you're growing some of the Ligularias in your garden, some good companion plants would probably be some of those spiky grass-like plants, maybe some variegated iris or some of the sweet flags, a chorus, planted with the Ligularias or Farfugiums, or maybe even some variegated monkey grass. I also think something low growing with small leaves like moneywort would also be a good companion plant for the Ligularias. So just another choice of foliage plant for the shade. The Ligularias or Farfugiums, organic soil, give them plenty of moisture. Watch out for slugs, but other than that, they have very few pests. kind of new to the market, but keep an eye out for these wonderful plants.